Stress is an umbrella term which all of those sticky, icky, painful and hurtful experiences in life can possibly live underneath. Stress impacts us all in many varying ways, but it really most deeply impacts women within their ability to regulate the stress hormones, to soften and relax, and to feel safe in their bodies. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson. An embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am a feminine awakener, thought leader, embodied business doula, sacred business midwife, healer, and all-round medicine woman. I am here to guide women deeper into their essence and power, to activate their life force, awaken pleasure, and support them to live an embodied life. I will help you birth your visions, dreams, creations, desires, and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted place within. My work supports women to become more available for life, love, relationship, connection, creation, pleasure, and wealth. I will activate you into self-leadership and self-mastery to truly live an embodied and awakened life. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to the Embodied Woman podcast. I am so excited to talk about this topic that is here within this episode for you today. Now, this is something that I have been supporting many of my clients through, and this is the calcification of the body within the hair tissue mineral analysis. And I coined this like the calcified woman because I'm going to be talking about this through the lens of womanhood, the feminine body, a woman's body, and feminine energy. So first of all, let's dive deep into the calcium shell, because this is what shows up on the HTMA when the calcium is above a certain number. And it's all reflective of the body's process and ability to deal with stress and how depleted the body has become because of stress or stressful experiences and how that impacts magnesium and therefore calcium. So the calcium shell is a term which is used in the metabolic living space in the HTMA to describe a concept which relates to emotional protection or defense, particularly in response to emotional or vulnerable experiences in their life or past traumas that have ultimately placed a large amount of stress upon their body and their system. This shield or shell can manifest as an emotional guardedness to protect the self from experiencing the impact of further stresses in the life, particularly when, as I've said, the body has been so stressed at a certain stage. It tries to protect itself and go into defensive patterns or protective mechanisms. The term calcium shell, specifically in the context of women, often refers to these emotional barriers or protective mechanisms and layers which women develop within the stressful or painful or traumatic experiences they have in life. These protective shells can be a response to stress and how that impacts the body on a cellular and mineral level. When the body is under stress, the interconnected web of minerals within our bodies alter and can often arrive into states of depletion or dysregulation as the body is always trying to process life experiences and the stresses that come with that. One of the first things that happens is that magnesium depletes from the body and from the cells at a rapid rate. This then, if not supported or renourished and remineralized over long-standing time, can create a depletion within magnesium. Magnesium and calcium are in relationship together. So when one is affected, so is the other. Often we see within the HTMA a depleted magnesium, which is either a magnesium that is super low or super high, because the body is either gone into reserves or it is burning through it at a rapid rate, both of which are a manifestation of stress. That then directly impacts calcium within the body. The body pulls calcium from the teeth and the bones, trying to allow it to do the job of magnesium, but of course it can't. So it's being pulled from the teeth and the bones, and it ends up circulating in the body. And this is where calcium deposits can happen, or this term calcification, or the calcium shell can begin to build. On a physical level, that has numerous different impacts and manifestations. But here I want to talk more into the physical manifestations in the body pertaining to the emotional and energetic manifestations of the high calcium or the calcium shell. Often, when we see the calcium shell, it can manifest in the body as emotional guarded behaviors, defensive mechanisms, defensive strategies, felt sense of wanting to safeguard or protect the self at all costs because there is a feeling of threat or danger within the body and the system. Some of the other ways in which it can show up within the physical body is muscle tension. So the emotional stress that the body's under and the guardedness can lead to an increase in muscle tension or stiffness, particularly around the areas such as shoulder or the neck, as the body is in response to emotional stress and it is contracting and guarding itself. Physical discomfort can also be a sign. Emotional tension within the body can begin to build and contribute to physical discomfort, headache, and sometimes digestive issues as the body is in a constant response to stress as it is minerally depleted. The high calcium in the body can also slow down the body's ability to digest and assimilate food and receive nutrients from that into the cells. It can also impact women hormonally. This state of prolonged emotional stress can affect hormone levels, which could impact sleep patterns, appetite, ability to feel hungry, overall energy levels, and also then lead into the cycles, issues with cycles, menstruation, PM, and any other womb-related health issues. This is pertaining to specifically the depletion in magnesium and therefore the rise in calcium. Magnesium is an essential mineral for hormone balance, hormone health. So when out of balance, this is where it can show up in the hormones and in a woman's body. It can also impact immune function. So under chronic stress, the body's immune functions are lowered. The emotional barriers can begin to weaken the immune system as the body is using all of its vital energy in this guarded, protective nature. It can also make the individual person susceptible to illness or having a lowered immune response and therefore affect the body's ability to heal completely and fully. We can also see the calcium shell manifest in the physical body through posture, body shape, and body holding and language. When we see people that have this emotional guard, they can embody and exhibit body language that is closed off, hunched over, this felt sense of a stance in the body that is guarded, defensive, or tense. For women on a more emotional and energetic level, the calcium shell can show up as emotional guardedness. Women may begin to develop a guarded approach to emotions, keeping feelings hidden or restrained, operating in defense, an inability to relax and soften, to release contraction from the system. There may also be emotional and mental contraction and guardedness. Often we can see this manifest in women that have been in patterns of over-accommodating for other people's needs and emotions, whilst possibly neglecting their own. Eventually, they feel so burnt down and worn down by this patterning that they decide, or their body decides, to create this protective barrier to prevent vulnerability and therefore being hurt or let down or disappointed. The calcified woman often has a fear of vulnerability. These past experiences of pain and upset, stress and trauma can lead women into patterns of avoiding showing the vulnerability or emotional sensitivity. There can be a disconnect from emotions, particularly bigger felt emotions such as grief or sadness or even anger and rage. Often a calcified system and a calcified woman can look a little bit frozen and unable to truly connect to that soft river of energy and emotion that is alive within us all. The calcified woman absolutely shows up in self-independence and self-sufficiency. Often, women with a high calcium can develop a strong sense of self-independence as a protective mechanism once again, avoiding reliance on others for support or emotional connection and vulnerability. She's learned along the way that she needs to guard and protect herself and her heart and go alone at all costs, because this is perceived in her internal world as the safest path to take. The calcium shell in women highlights the various ways in which we can develop emotional defensiveness, withdraw from vulnerability, relationships, and emotional connection through the experience of pain, trauma, and stress within our life and its experiences. Stress is an umbrella term which all of those sticky, icky, painful, and hurtful experiences in life can possibly live underneath. Stress impacts us all in many varying ways, but it really most deeply impacts women within their ability to regulate the stress hormones, to soften and relax, and to feel safe in their bodies. While the defensive patterns that are born from these experiences are born from a place of wanting to protect oneself, they can also hinder genuine emotional connections, the self-expression of the trueness that is alive in the heart and the authentic self. And it can also suppress and hinder any personal growth, often with a stance of becoming rigid, tense, tight, and unable to hold a state of nuance in their thought or belief or opinion. The calcified woman can often experience things as this or that, very cut, clear, dry, and unable to experience the soft nuance of many expressions and life interactions. There may also be a need or a pattern of defending oneself, wanting to take the stance of being right and making the other wrong, which all falls into the protective mechanisms and the patternings that have been adopted because of the stressful experiences of life. Restoring balance within the mineral networks of the body begins to allow the body to restore and replenish. And particularly within this patterning of calcium and magnesium, the body can begin to decalcify. Often this is said to be felt like a sense of cracking open, or a barrier or a wall coming down, as the safety is restored in the body, as the depletions that have manifest from past life experiences and the stresses that has brought to oneself begin to integrate and find safety. A deepening of connection to the more softer tenderness within begins to emerge. We journey through these emotional barriers and inner guard through somatic practice, embodied awareness, healing, resourcing the body, cultivating safety within, rebalancing the minerals and the depletions that have been manifest and lost through such life experiences, which all support you to foster and cultivate emotional well-being within. This creates healthier patterns of emotional expression, safety in vulnerability, and allows the whole body and system to find a place of softness and relaxation. Permission to really allow a letting go of the holding on of the tensions and the guards and the barriers, to truly allow life to flow back in and out of the body and the heart again. This patterning will show up within a HTMA, which is a hair tissue mineral analysis. Through that, we are able to guide you on a protocol to support the many different functions and facets and physiological responses that each individual's body has gone through in response to stress. Now, it's important for me to share here that this isn't an invitation to begin to start taking lots of magnesium because you think you might have a calcium shell or relate to some of the manifestations that I've shared in this podcast. The body is a delicate space and a space of great nuance. There are many other factors, including sodium and potassium, nervous system regulation, balancing out other essential minerals and electrolytes that often need to take place first before the body is able to receive magnesium to utilize it in a way that feels resourcing and replenishing. It's a gentle journey of arriving back into the body and slowly over time allowing those calcified walls to dissolve and melt and break down. I highly recommend that this is done alongside having a hair mineral test and also working with a practitioner that can support you in that way. If you are feeling the call to explore this journey, we have just a few places remaining for the Embodied Woman group mentorship, which is happening this year. This is a pioneering space that's bringing together metabolic living, remineralization, HTMA, nervous system regulation, resourcing practices, embodiment, somatic awareness, feminine energy healing, deepening in self-awareness and understanding, coaching, and guiding you through the multifaceted practice and process that the body requires to heal and integrate the past and step forward into the future. The Embodied Woman is a journey of restoring the mineral networks of your body through somatic healing, embodied resource, and awakening feminine vitality. The doors are closing in the next couple of days. The call is to join us now. If you are feeling the yes, the link and all the details will be in the show notes of this episode. By the time this episode is aired, I believe that the doors will be closing within 1 to 2 days. We will shut the doors on the 5th or the 6th of March, 2024. So my love, if you've felt the call, you've resonated with anything I've shared here, and you want to resource and replenish and remineralize your body this year, this is the space to do it. Scroll down, click the link in the show notes. Everything's there for you. I will also place a link there for you to book a connection call. But you can also reach out to me on Instagram. I'll place the link for that too there. So if you're feeling a yes, or you've got any questions about this, or you'd like to work on it in a one-to-one, you can book a connection call, message me on Instagram, and we can chat and explore what is right for you. Be gentle with yourself, my love. Go easy, be kind, and have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.